I dodged a real bullet from a real gun. Do you think that it was logic or intuition that saved my life? Let's find out. So here's the story. I was a third grade teacher, very devoted, loved my students, and one of my favorite things to do was to take their journals home and give them personal feedback so that they could feel seen and heard and loved by me. And we really built a positive relationship that way. So it was a really big part of my teaching practice. One day after school, I took my students' precious journals, all 25 of them, and I put them in the trunk of my car. And I didn't have a bag, so they were kind of just all over. And then, I drove home and I stopped to get some groceries. I had gone to the gym earlier before work, and so I had my gym bag, I had the grocery bags, and I had my journals. Once I pulled into my parking spot, which was in the alleyway of my building, facing a park, I really realized I had a lot of stuff to take upstairs, and so I was kind of debating back and forth, like, should I take the journals first and come back, get the groceries later? So I was going back and forth for a while, sitting in the driver's seat, and what happened was that I just kept feeling this kind of inner prompting that was guiding me to just go upstairs. Just go upstairs. I kept feeling, just go upstairs. And so I listened to that. I decided to just go upstairs, grab my groceries. I had been snacking on on Cheerios on my way home, so the Cheerio box was open. And so I got my 2 bags of groceries, and I said, okay, I'll get the journals later. And as soon as I put the key in the door and I opened the door to my home, there was the loudest sound I have ever heard. It felt like there was 1,000 machine guns that were going off, and it felt like they were coming from within my home. And I just dropped to the floor, grocery bags everywhere, Cheerios everywhere, and I, crawled to the bathroom. And my front door was still open, and I was just kind of crouched in the bathtub. Once the gunfire kind of subsided, it had been kind of going for a while from multiple sides. Apparently that was a gang-related activity that had kind of sparked that afternoon. And so once everything subsided, I looked out the window and I saw people crouched down behind cars. And, once it kind of got quiet, I wanted to give my students the feedback in their journals. So I would go downstairs to where my car was parked, and I, turned the key and lifted the trunk. Something fell right in my hand, and it was a piece of metal. I was like, what is that? That's weird. What is that? And I looked, and I brought down the trunk, and there it was, a bullet hole right there. And I was like, wow, there's a bullet hole in my car. Had I not listened to that inner prompting to just go upstairs, I would have been standing right in front of the trunk, getting the children's journals out of the car. Well, the bullet would have made it through my body before making it into the car. And so that was a powerful example for me, and there's many others where I have followed my intuition and things have gone well. And there are times where I have not followed my intuition and things have not gone well. I wonder if you've had that experience. And that bullet was in my car for as long as I had that car. Every time I turned the wheel, I could hear it. It was ricocheted. It was in the side. So the moral of the story here is, we do have this impeccable inner guidance system called our intuition, and it is always impeccable. And as we strengthen our relationship with our intuition and our inner guidance, our inner voice, we can really be guided from within every step of the way in our life. And the guidance, if we can learn to listen and trust it, sometimes may not make sense to our mind, but it always makes sense to the heart. And there's a greater intelligence that operates through our intuition. So if we can just trust that, whatever that nudging is, if we can trust that, we will always be guided in the right direction for each one of us. And in this case, and in many other cases, our intuition might actually even save our own life or save the life of another. So I hope that you listen and trust your intuitive guidance, because it will guide you in the right direction for you every step of the way.